beginning.
In the beginning.
There was Poly.
You are now listening to
The PolyGenesis Show.
Yo, what up, everybody? This is Coach Bruce, and welcome to the PolyGenesis Show.
What up?
I got my lovely co-hosts, Qiana and Jasmine.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
We back at y'all again. We just want to thank everybody for tuning in. We want to thank everybody for subscribing and liking and sharing the content. And we don't do this just for us. We do it for all you guys in mind. When want to also try to help and educate, as well as to network and bring everyone together. And just really shed some light on poly. Really shed some light on just different dynamics of poly, but also just letting everyone know that how as poly, but we all work together as one to accomplish the goal of humanity.
We all are a system.
We're all a system. Yes. So once again, we want to thank you guys for tuning in. We want to thank you guys for joining us. Once again, thank you guys for the love that you shared and the love that you've been sharing on our IG at PolyGenesis Show, on our YouTube, subscribing there, also subscribing on our iTunes, SoundCloud, Google, Anchor. Well, wherever your podcast, wherever you host, 9 times out of 10, we're on there.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. So, what's up, ladies?
Not much.
What's up with you?
Chilling, man. We had an eventful day. So, yes. Very, 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 very eventful. Very eventful. What about you guys?
We was out. We was doing our pop-up. So if y'all in the Nevada area, we were doing our pop-ups at different areas. So when we up and running, we will post it. And y'all can just come check us out. We will have a little bit of everything from each business. So just come out and support.
Each business that our family has. So our family business consists of many different businesses and entities, and we all work together as one to make sure that we all are having a contribution, to the family and everything. And so we just want to encourage you guys to continue on in your business endeavors. I know sometimes it may be hard and rough, but continue to push on.
Yes.
Push on. Yes. So, what do you guys think and feel about burdens? Like, when you hear the word burden, what's the first thing that really thinks about? Because I know when I hear the word burden, I'm like, oh, damn.
Right.
So
obviously, we're just going to jump in. That's the topic. Are you going to tell them that the topic is about burdens?
No, I wasn't. I was just going to jump right in.
Oh.
And hit them with, and you just want to go straight there.
Yeah.
Huh? No.
Might as well.
What do you guys think about burdens?
I think of like you carrying something heavy.
Heavy? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's why I think of it. Something heavy, something unwanted.
Yeah, or you get an image of like a donkey or a horse.
Or a camel.
Or camel just weighted down, or your car just weighted down. Just carrying burdens.
Or just extra weight that you just holding on to, or extra baggage that you're holding on to too.
So it's like sometimes like when we think of burdens, it almost seems like it has a negative connotation about it.
So something bad, but it's not.
Like, man, I'm just carrying burdens, just burdens.
Mm-hmm.
Or you got that bag lady. Anyway.
Yeah.
Just carrying burdens, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is there any stories you guys have about carrying some burdens?
You want to go first, or?
No, you can go first.
I always go first.
No, not always.
But
she can go first.
She always wanted me to go first.
Well, it don't matter.
Anyway, I thought about like when I was younger, taking care of my sister.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that it was a burden too,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't a bad burden. It was just something I naturally just did.
Right.
And so, you know, especially when we went over to my grandma's house, I always had to make sure she ate. She was bathed, she was clothed, I did her hair, made sure she
Mm-hmm.
was cool. But just to help my dad out, help my grandma, and ultimately help my mom. Because nobody was really in that position to do it, so I had to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I think a lot of times when we talk about burdens, or you deal with burdens, because I know a lot of times that people kind of treat their kids like burdens, their children, like it's a burden, and it's funny because actually when you look at the etymology of burden, and it actually talks about child in there. But one thing that I love, and I just want to, well, I ain't going to highlight it just now. Jasmine, what you got?
Oh, thought you was gonna go.
No?
Since you wanna go right in. No,
I
but
always go right in.
well,
wow, okay.
I thought about
We going there, okay.
I thought about my older sister, how she had to take all of us on and take care of us and basically be there every step of the way, dealing with us, basically being our mother, like she basically was. And I felt like she still's doing it to a certain extent. Meaning, because my brother is in prison, she still take care of him, send her letters, pictures, and stuff. Like she's still doing things as a mother, and I feel like for her, it can be like a burden in her eyes. She's like almost like I think she's like 35, 36 or whatever. And she been taking care of us since we was kids. Like even took us in, doing foster care and all of that, just so we could all stay together. So
Right. Shout out to sisters. The big sisters, big brothers taking care of their business. Shout out to that. I'm glad I'm the only one clapping, but shout out, shout out to that. You know what I mean? Maybe I need to put an echo on this and make it sound like it's a lot of people clapping.
Wow.
Anyway, shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody that's carrying burdens.
All the women that were little women.
All the women that was little women, and all the men and everybody that's playing a part. I like that. Yeah, it's funny because when I thought about you guys' story, I was like, hey, I got a ton of them. But since we talk about children, it was funny. Like my mom,
Oh, Lord.
when she had my little sister, it was like, I hated school, but I always wanted to go to school because my mom was like, hey, you got anything going on in school today? I was like, why, what's up? I need you to stay home and watch your sister. I was like, okay, cool. For the first time she got me, I was like, all right, cool. I didn't want to go to school. Then the next time she was asking me, I was like, Ma, I got a test. every time, and hopefully if my mom don't hear, if you hear this, hey, it is what it is. But I was like, well, she know about it because I'm open with her. I was like, yeah, I got a test. She was like, and so I had a test like every day. I had a test like every day. And it's funny because it's like, sometimes when you're kids or you're children and you got to watch and you got to do all that, it's like, man, like, it's almost like, are they missing their child? Are we missing our childhood? Or, are you growing that child up too fast or whatever the case may be? And I don't know. I just know I want to go to school because at the time, but me and Qiana was together. I'm trying to see Qiana. I'm trying to chill. You know what I mean? All that. And so I was like, Mom, I got a test. Shit.
Didn't even have a test.
Didn't even have a test. And then one time she made me stay home and I actually really missed my test. But anyway. But yeah, so one thing I want to talk about is like burden, like from a different perspective is like, it's when you hear the word burden, you think of weight. Now, think of like a lot of times we always think about heavyweight or heavy laden or something weighty. But to understand that in order to have something weighty, that word weight actually means glory. So that means that you're glorified, and you have a lot of glory because you can carry and bear a lot of weight. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So just think about a lot of things that we go through in life.
You trying to be all deep and shit.
Well, you know me, I'm a coach. So, I'm always throwing that a little educational piece. But just imagine that weight is like it's the glory. It's like, when you in the gym and you're bench pressing or you bench pressing or you, what is that called? You're actually going to max out. And then you max out at whatever it is, 225, 300, whatever your max is. And you're like, wow, like that's the weight, the glory. You know what I mean? And so just think about that. That's your glory, that amount of weight that you're able to press and push up to bear. Right. And so when you translate that in our natural sense, you have to translate it as like why it feels like I'm the only one that's doing so much, or why it feels like I have a lot on my shoulders. Why do I feel like if I give up or if I take a rest that the family falls? Why do it feels like all that? And you might have to look at yourself and say, because you was called to it. You have a lot of honor on you. And so when you look at that word burden, also in a sense, it's also to raise the flag. Raise your tribal flag. It's a sign. It's a significant. And so now it's like, think about that. If I'm waving the banner, I'm waving my tribal flag, which means your family flag, your significant. Everybody can see it. And you're that burden bearer. It's almost like the word chief. The word chief is the bearer of burdens for the family. And so now you like, how much weight does that individual have? So if we're called now to bear each other's burdens, imagine how great you are. Imagine the leadership qualities that you have.
So in people's eyes, you're very honorable.
Yes, it's very honorable to have burden. It's very honorable. Just like that goat or whatever, that camel. That camel was used because it was a great burden bearer. It was able to carry. It was at times when people built like big like what is those things? Like you could sit under, and it's almost like a car, but on a camel without the wheels and all that. They built all that stuff. You've seen this stuff on Aladdin and all that stuff. But they built those things and they was on camels. Right. And so the camel was designed to carry a lot of burden. And so think about that. And it had 2 humps or 1 hump.
2.
Some, I guess some had 1 hump or 2 hump, whatever. But my point is that it was designed to carry a lot of burdens, hence why it was glorified. See, it was glorified, it was honored because it was able to bear burdens. And so think about that. As a family, we're able to carry burdens. We're able to be there for each other. We're able, because we was never designed to be individuals. We was never designed to be a one-track mind. We was never designed to be selfish. We were we were created to be interdependent with each other, right, to carry each other's burdens. And then when you're carrying each other's burdens, what happens if Qiana, she carries 100 pounds? Jasmine comes over and say, hey, I got this with you. Now that 100 pounds is not 100 pounds no more for you.
Nope,
it now became pounds. Lighter. And that's the key. When we all work together, we're all now partaking in the burden of glory.
Well, that's like what you was talking about earlier when we was doing class and he was talking about the systems. And the very first question you ask is, what comes to your mind when you hear of system? And you have broke it down basically just sums up because it's not verbatim, but she was talking about the family unit and how you compare it to a system. Everything is a system, right down to the prisons, to the school. Everything is a system. It needs somebody to work to get to another person, and then they put it together. Now you have this system. Now you need one another. And like you were saying that maybe I may be doing something different from her, but it would still benefit you.
Right. And also in the system, there is no one that's more important than the other.
Right.
Right. Because we all need each other.
Exactly. And so just think about that. Us as humans, if we neglect that camel, now that camel won't be able to carry the burdens that we need. So
Right.
are we more important than the camel?
Mm.
Because in a system, we all need each other.
Right.
Anything successful has a system. Everything. Now, a lot of times some of these systems are created for evil, and we're not talking about that, but the case in point even in that is it's still a system.
Right.
And it works. But when you're now dealing with burdens, it's like, okay, we all have a family. And so even when we're bringing, or your family, somebody bring somebody in with children or things like that, you're now taking the load off of each other and carrying one. That's why it's funny. It's like, when we grew up, or we always heard it takes a village. And so when you look at our ancient ancestors, the village literally was your community, was your family, those who you built, and you knew them.
Right.
There was either your family members and they expanded over time. They got too big and you had to divide them, because they was too big to fill the house and they had other households. But everybody partook in the raising or rearing up of that child. Everyone. And so if something happened to that parent or something happened, it's like that child never skipped a beat because they still was always provided for. Everyone took part into it.
Well, wouldn't that be like how the I know we don't do it, but having a godmother or godfather take care of the children if they're fatherless or motherless. It's their job now to step in to make sure that the child, on behalf of that parent, is taken care of.
Yeah, it's kind of the same concept, but you got to think of, it's not when the mother or father goes down, they're still with that child, with the father and the mother. It's almost like, when you're dealing with poly or polygyny, here it is, they have multiple mothers to help nurture. And it's so amazing that sometimes women don't understand the importance. And this is why I always praise and honor, because a woman carries a lot of burden. She is the builder of the house.
Right.
Contrary to popular belief, when men think they're the builder, no, it's the woman who's the builder of the house. The woman is the glue to the house. She also holds things together. And this is also in my book called The 7 Pillars of Family Wisdom, is that when you're looking at the woman was the housekeeper. The man was the householder, meaning she was keeper of the house. So her job was to make sure that the house was functional, to make sure that the children, make sure that the men, and that wasn't an easy task. That wasn't an easy task. Make sure the servants, was taken care of. And I know, contrary to popular belief, people frown on the word servants, but applied in this proper context, the servant was never abused or mistreated because they was part of the household. If that household prospered, the servant prospered because they was a part of that household.
Right, that's like when you have a butler that been around for years, they be like, oh, I've been here for 20 years.
Yeah, they were taken care of. Or you have an in-home nanny thing now. It's the same concept.
Right.
But anyway, but everybody took care of each other. And that's the thing. And so when you look at Proverbs chapter 31, for a lot of those who say, I'm a Proverbs 31 woman. But if you look at the work that she done, just sit there and really read all that. And look at how much work she done. And then it says she rise up early and feed her handmaidens or the servants. That word right there can also be translated as concubines, the concubines of that man. And so everyone partook of the blessings of that house. Why? Because it was a system. The family is the true living system.
Right.
Nothing else matters outside of the family system. No matter if you go to work, they say, welcome to the family. If you go to the baseball or basketball, football, whatever your sports, they say it's a what? Family.
School.
Because family is the business.
It's a family. Right. And it's family. Family is the most important thing that anybody can partake in. And it's so important is that the deception is it's okay to go out here and be alone. It's okay not to be a part of a family. No, you're selling yourself short and you're actually cutting the legs from under you. And this is why a lot of us struggle. This is why majority of us struggle. This is why 9 times out of 10 or 10 out of 10 with people who are not in family struggle. It's because who's carrying the burdens with you?
Right.
Think about that.
I mean, I think about too, like being in polygyny, having the ladies come in to take the burden off of me too, and helping you. I feel like Jasmine did a lot when she came in, still is. So is Alexis and whoever else comes in the home too. I know me and Alexis was talking a few weeks ago when she was asking me about just lifestyle and, just dealing with you and being in poly, period. And I said, for the sake of me being in this position that I'm in as the first wife, I feel like it's not all on me. It's gradually everybody's doing their part to make sure that you're good. And I like the fact that it doesn't all fall on me like it did, years ago, which wasn't, it wasn't bad, but it was overwhelming at times.
Right.
So now it's like we got people in their proper positions and, they're carrying out whatever. So it's a little bit better for me. So it's a breather.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I think a person would be lying if they said they wouldn't want help. And that's the thing. I think a person would be lying if they say, nah, I wouldn't want the help. I wouldn't want the help. No, you would, especially if you was inside the system and you seen how the system flow. A lot of people that came visit us that was close to our, friends and things like that, or a lot of people who actually knew us and we felt comfortable, inviting them over or whatever like that. They got to see the system in action and they was like, damn. Envious or jealous in a good sense to say, damn, I wish I had that. Because deep down inside, that's in everyone's nature, is to be part of a unit, a system, a structure, make sure that everything is in order, what I mean? Make sure that things are flowing, you know what I mean? And now that doesn't mean that it's a complete perfect system or we're perfect in everything that we do. No, we're imperfect people creating perfection. You know what I mean? And so that's the key, because in my shortcomings, you guys are strong. And you guys are shortcoming, I am strong. Or y'all are strong and y'all each other. And so we're all filling each other's void.
Right.
And that's the key.
Right.
That's the key. And so together, it's like always, remember back in the day when I used to do this with the fingers? And I say, look, man, when you look at your hands, you spread your hands out. Those spaces in your hands are like voids. But when you bring another hand and you interlock those together, it fills the void, but it also brings a connection. It brings a unity. That means that, yeah, I might have shortcomings, but when we work together, you bring your piece, you bring your piece, we bring your piece. Now we become a pie. We become a whole system, of structure and greatness, and that's the key. That's the key. And so, like I said, and it's like, when we're young, even Jordan, like I look at her sometimes and it's like, sometimes she'd be like, oh my gosh. But it's funny because it's like, we call on her a lot because we trust her. She's a burden bearer. You can tell she's a burden bearer because she's trustworthy. Not saying all our other children are. All of our other children are great at what they do and they help out and they do whatever because we all play our part. But Jordan, like, you can call her and she makes sure she gets it done. And that shows it's like you have been called when you was young. We knew, or it's like the universe or the spirit knew that you are chosen. You have glory because you are able to bear burdens. I think of Jasmine a lot of times. And it's like, no matter what, it's like she'll rise up in the mountains and then all of a sudden she just goes down in this valley. And I'm not saying that she, this life is a heartbeat. You goes up and down. But what I'm saying is that it could be like, yeah, I finally the rain clouds has set and the sun is shining, and all of a sudden you driving in the sun, and then what? It's just like, boom, clouds again. And it's funny because it's like, Jasmine carries burdens.
Mm-hmm.
She is able to carry burdens. She's a burden bearer. Qiana, is a burden bearer.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like when we look in our lives, we see that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn, why am I always going through?
Right.
Why am I always being the one that's called on? Why can't I just chill? Why do I have this? Why do I have that? And it's funny because it's like, if you wasn't able to bear it, you wouldn't go through it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't go through it.
That is true.
And so it's like now in life, it's like having that mindset and that perspective. It's like, man, that's glory. I'm able to carry that much weight. And guess what? When you max out in that gym and you hit up and you bench press that one time and you like, yeah, you feel glorified. You got glory because you lift up that weight.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? You're not done because you're still trying to get stronger. You're still building that muscle. So now in the next time, you're still tearing your muscles to get stronger. And that's how we are in life.
Right.
We're being torn. We're being, broken, but not destroyed. We're getting this pressure so that we can become stronger in that which you're called to do. That who you are in life.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because like as cancers, cancers, man, are very, very unique. And like if you label a cancer, when you look at, let's say like the 12 tribes of Israel, would be the tribe of Issachar.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the blessings of Issachar, it says between two burdens.
Mm-hmm.
They're a family tribe. Every cancer I know deals with family. And we're the king of the family tribe because we're the beginning of that zodiac, of that water sign.
Mm-hmm.
And so we also, cancers have the most intuition out of all zodiacs. And think about it. We are family. We're homebodies. Look at a lot of cancers. Some of them, maybe don't want to work. It's not that they don't want to work, but their occupation is at home.
Right. They want
building up the house or home-based businesses. That's cancers.
Mm-hmm.
We want to make sure that our family is secured, is safe.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it was saying, okay, he's stuck. Issachar stuck between two burdens. They also deals with the signs of the times to gather people together. You go to a cancer house guaranteed they will invite you over. That's a place to be, is the cancer house. They will treat you. And that's how cancers are. Cancers are great leaders, but that's astrology. And then you come in astronomy, it's two different things, but, but yeah, for the most part, that's that. And so it's like, when I started to understand who I was more, it started to make sense. And I was already naturally doing this. It wasn't that I read it and didn't say, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. No, I was naturally doing it. This is how you're on your path.
Right.
That you're naturally doing stuff. You guys, Libras, you guys will be like the tribe of Levi. This balance scales and making sure that, that you guys don't judge prematurely, or you don't judge or misjudge based off of, what you guys' personal feeling is, but you have to be impartial when you're dealing with judgments. You know what I mean? As Libras. And sometimes you guys can be indecisive, or yeah, I see your side and I see your side. Okay, can you make a judgment, please? But anyway, it's just like, but it's funny is because it's like understanding balance scales. Once again, that's dealing with weight. That's dealing with burdens.
That's true.
Here it is. A Libra's job is to be able to judge between the two. To weigh it out, to balance it out, to keep the balance, to keep the peace.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And hell, as cancers, we need that a lot of times too. But we are always peacekeepers. We would be like, hey, look, at the end of the day, we try to smooth it up. Nah, I don't think it was like that. And people hate that.
I know I do.
You know, but it ain't that it ain't like for me that I'm not sticking up for nobody. I'm just saying, look, man, for diplomacy's sake, you know, they probably didn't mean it like that. And in the back of my mind, I could be like, they definitely meant it like that. But I know that, you know, and it's not a lie, but it's like you're trying to keep the peace.
Right.
You know, because happiness belongs to those who keep peace.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And it's like at the end of the day, diplomatic, but once again, carrying burdens. And so I just brought up the zodiac for that reason, you know, and that was general. We'll go deeper, but that was just general because we are understanding burdens. Every house has a burden.
Right.
Every house, every tribe, every sign has a burden to bear. We're all unique. We all are lights. We all supposed to raise that standard and hold it up and say, look at my house, look at my tribe, and become that leader. And also to see somebody else and say, hey, you know, come on into our house.
Right.
Just imagine that if we had that attitude. Because, you know, it's sickening sometimes that you see people that have these big ass houses and it's empty. There's
Or
nobody
it's
in
just
there.
them.
It's just them. That's what I mean by empty. What's the point of having all that for?
Right.
And I know when we were young, Qiana, remember when we were growing up, it was like, you know, we want to have a big house or we want to have, you know, land and property because we want to be able to help people. People who are properly vetted.
Yeah.
Not anybody, not everybody.
Right.
Some people needs to be out there because of the bad choices and they refuse to see certain things and they refuse to take accountability for their actions. But everybody still is able to be saved, you know, to be, you know, welcoming in. But my point is that we didn't want to share in this experience by ourselves.
Right.
If we flow, if we go, we want to be able to take those who has been with us, take those that need things and to have that and be examples for people. You know, and it's funny, is like got that revelation on Poly and it's just like, it was rough at the beginning, but it made sense. It starts to make it now looking back. In the beginning.
In the beginning. In the beginning. In the beginning. In the beginning. In the beginning. There was Poly.